I'm Ben Rothwell, and I'm here today to talk about how I'm starting up in the drone industry and why I reached out to Ag Business and Crop. So the reason why I got into the drone industry, well, first kind of just my background is I'm in mechanical engineering, currently at University of Guelph, so I'm in my fourth year. But on some of my co-ops, I was traveling quite a bit in the States, and I've really been into a lot of adventures, so I wanted to capture all these moments. So I started off with just my GoPro, honestly, just making little films. But I decided that I'd really like to get into the drone industry, so I bought a drone, just kind of out of the blue, and that was about a year ago that I actually started doing that. The reason why I did that was just I was going on a trip with some friends, and I decided I wanted to film something, so I got my basic license and just started filming. Yeah, so there's lots of resources out there for drone stuff. Currently, I just looked up a lot of YouTube videos when I was first looking at drones. What's the best drone for a beginner? I wanted a high quality drone, but I also wanted something that's not crazy expensive. Another stuff was, okay, I can buy the drone, but I need to have a license to fly it. So that was my next step before I actually purchased it, to make sure that I was able to get my license, and then also going on insurance and liability coming up. So there's lots of resources out there. When I was first looking it up, I didn't find all the information right away, but eventually I found Transport Canada's website, and just from there's lots of other resources. A lot of people have created different PDFs that you can go through. So when I first got the drone, I did the basic test, and honestly, just from reviews and stuff like that, a lot of people said, oh, it's not really that difficult. When I did it, I studied for maybe a day or less, and I was able to pass it pretty easily, so it wasn't very in-depth, but there is a lot of regulations that you have to follow with the basic license, which I wasn't necessarily a fan of, and that's kind of why I went to get the advanced. So yeah, when I was looking to take my advanced drone pilot license, I looked at the two extremes of going to an in-class versus doing a study on my own. And currently, just due to COVID, the in-person class wasn't necessarily an option for me. But also, I currently had a lot of time in order to do the study guide. So I set aside some time every night just to kind of work through different PDFs, kind of reading through and just increasing my knowledge on drones and all the regulations that are around it. For me, this studying my own was okay, but it was definitely a little more than I thought it was going to be. But I was dedicated, and I decided that was how I was going to do it. So it definitely took me more time than I expected. So once I finally completed my advanced drone pilot license, you actually don't get your drone advanced pilot license until you complete a flight review. When I was looking for places to go do my flight review, there was lots of different options out there. But for me, I chose to go to Ag Business and Crop. One of the reasons was that they're very close. They have a good price, but they also provided a lot of value to me. So for example, when I reached out, Felix got back to me very quickly, and he provided a lot of information that I needed to know. So a lot of help with my site survey, what I needed to have for certain protocols in order to have a successful flight review. Yeah, so when I was looking to do my flight review, there's lots of different options out there. I chose to go with Felix and Ag Business, just because they're very close, but also Felix reached out to me, he provided a really good overview of what the flight review would look like, and then he essentially showed me what I needed to do to try and be as successful as possible during it. So one of my short-term goals is actually starting my business here in the next couple of months. Currently, I'm going to start off in just the media area, starting off with real estate, but then also looking into different videography and photography using my drone. But I would eventually like to get into inspections. So currently on our farm we have solar panels, and I've been talking to them about doing some solar inspections. And that's also kind of an area that I'm studying in school, is energy resources. So inspection of different solar panels and wind turbines is an area that I'm both interested in for drones and through my schooling. So if I was to do my drone test when COVID wasn't around, I think from my experience, I would definitely suggest going to someone and having it done in a course. It really depends on how you learn, but there's lots of resources out there, but you do have to put in the effort to try and find them. Whereas if you go to someone, you're flying with a commercial pilot, they know exactly what this process is like, and you're doing it with other people, so it's kind of a more of an environment that you can kind of do it together in and succeed. I would say to anyone that's wanting to start out in this business, definitely do your research. It's not an inexpensive business to get into, but it is very rewarding when you see the results. Just some advice that I would give to people that are looking to get into the drone industry, kind of like myself, just beginning and starting out, is definitely do your research beforehand. You want to have people there that are going to be able to help you out. Although you can study on your own, you can do everything. You need to be able to have people there for support for flight reviews. You need to be able to have support for your drones, and just support down the road for your business to be successful. If you're interested in any drone services in the future, please reach out and I'd be happy to help.